Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back on our YouTube account and we're going to be looking at the Cursed Realm Nightmare Corridor Treasure Scramble, three of the biggest places that we see. I'm also going to be sharing with you a guide over on Reddit. Now, of course, when it comes to these three particular game modes, the reason being when it comes to the ranking, but when it comes to the rewards, these are one of the absolute top places that you're going to see the most rewards. Even here, we have diamonds, we have stargazer scrolls, we have a lot of chests, we have red chests. There are a lot of things that you can get out of here, including if you go a little bit further, we also do have time emblems in here. And even if we score a little bit better, you can see the rewards just get better and better. And that is the exact same when it comes to the other game modes as well. Thinking of the Twisted Realm, the Cursed Realm, the Nightmare Corridor, the better that you're scoring in this game mode is the better that you're going to be essentially getting rewards, and the more rewards that you're going to be getting out of the ranking itself. Again, in here, including some of the engraving mats, we have some time emblems. We also do have some stargazer scrolls, some baits, everything that you want and everything that you want to get. And I know, again, a lot of players were kind of questioning the leaderboard rewards, looking at the insignias. It does take a lot to be competitive in here, but honestly, if you're focused on it like I have been, and a lot of players, even free to play, can score incredibly well in this game mode. So again, I want to hop over and I want to take a look at these two guides. First, I'm going to show you the Reddit post that they came from, and then we'll break down the actual guide itself. So let's hop over and we'll take a look at it. All right, guys, so here is the Treasure Scramble Nightmare Corridor Cursed Realm crowdsourcing guide. Big shout out to the crowdsourcing. I know Zero and some other players have a really big time to do with this. And you also know that this is a Google Doc. So it is actually a document, again, that we're going to kind of look through in just a minute. I'm going to give you the link down to this so you can actually see all of the comments. AFK Arena, free to play life, good. Big shout out to him as well. Does incredibly well as a content creator. So looking at the guide, so here is the guide itself. You can see this is Treasure Scramble Fire. Teams used by non-whale accounts, top 50 to 100 in regions 1 through 40. So again, this is the crowdsourcing information. This is also the SP effect. Now you can see this is a little bit older, but I think it's only been up here for a super short amount of time. But you'll also notice the bottom. This is the big one, guys. When you look at the bottom of this document itself, which I'll make it a little bit, it has all of it in here. The forest, the frost, the fog, Nightmare Corridor, Cane, everything that you need to build teams is within this document itself, making it an absolute game changer. And of course, you can see we do have some icons in here. These are the heroes themselves. Then of course, some credits, big credit and shout out. And you can see how many players are really focused on this and building it out, how many players are contributing to where we are and where we're getting all of this data from. It does make a big difference. So I just want to run through, let's say the Nightmare Corridor right here, which again, this is what it is right now. B is the beast. SP is the SP effect that you're using within this game mode. And then of course you can see the different bosses within here, kind of breaking it down. Now this is a multitude of teams. This is going to be very important depending on who you have built. And that is something to really remember is when you're going through here, you're going to see the boss comps. What can you build? Who do you have built? A lot of times what I get from comments over on YouTube is I don't have this hero. I don't have XYZ. I don't have this. I don't have that. This is the reason why guides like this exist. And of course, you want to bookmark this guide. This is going to be super important as you're going through here. For instance, even just looking at the first team right here, you can see that we have teams right here. SP if you're running Solus. Solus is going to be the SP effect in here. But you can look and see we have Rimuru in here. So if you're a player, if you're free to play, unfortunately, if you didn't have the opportunity or if you did not get Rimuru, you can actually swap Astrilda in there. And again, looking down here, there's a lot of different teams down here that can kind of fill the niche. Even if by chance, let's say you don't have the Awakened version of Baden, normal Baden and Trishea are still being utilized. Now, of course, depending where you're at, depending who you have built, is going to be a big game changer because a lot of players, even looking like Adrian Elise, the Awakened version of Athalia, there are also going to be formations that do not have the Awakened heroes or kind of different Awakened heroes to really focus on with the spreadsheet. And of course, guys, it is massive. It is super massive. Even looking here in the third one, interesting enough, this is utilization of Vika. So if you don't have Vika used, you can see there are a few formations that utilize her. There are a couple formations down here in the bottom that do not utilize her at all. Again, it's still being super effective. Now you'll also notice is when you start getting to the three teams here, even the 3 teams here, so 6 teams in total. It is a game changer when you get the beast to level 18 resonance. We've talked about this before. It is really, and in my opinion, guys, it needs to be a massive, massive focus when it comes to building out this beast, because it is a game changer for every single formation, for every single beast that you have in AFK Arena. It is really, really a game changer. You also notice that some of the new beasts in here, we do have the new bird right there, so the ibis is in there, and of course some of the new dragon pet, the Eris. I think that's the name. I'm drawing kind of a blank on it off the top of my head. But when you start looking at pretty much every single aspect, so we have the treasure scramble teams in here, we have the forest, we have everything showing the starting teams, which again is very important. So right here you have 1, 2, 3. And then you start getting into 1, 2, and then of course 4 is in here, 5, 6, 7, 8, gives you a multitude of teams to really break down. So when it comes to a guide that is inclusive, that actually has the real life application and effect with a multitude of game modes, this is absolutely it. This is the reason why I bookmark all of this, because it's kind of crazy. Even looking at the curse realm, let's say for instance, we're doing Cain, you can see the teams that are used in a multitude of formations within the cursed realm itself, and just kind of breaking down who is being used. And some of the heroes, guys, honestly, even looking at the tier list, even thinking of a couple different places where you have like the awakened version of Antandra is in here, Nyla is in here, even Kelthin. Kelthin has been used for quite a bit. We're starting to see him used in a few different places. And of course, Villanelle is another one. Shuna being used in a few places. There are a lot of places, and you can also note right here, S20 Mythic. So you have to have Cassius right here built up to a certain point. If you don't have Cassius to this level, you're going to go ahead and swap some different heroes or look at some different teams. Now, of course, you can also use this in conjunction when you're in the actual game. So when you're actually in AFK Arena, which I'll show you in just a minute, but when you're in there, going in there and really picking out what heroes you're utilizing are and is and will always be a game changer. So when you think of something right here, like the treasure scramble, we went to 1%. We still have a little bit more time, but looking at the 1%, going into the battle history or adjusting your formations in here, modify this again is another place where you can get formations within here. Now you can see the popular ones, also the recommended ones. You can see there are currently no replays for the recommended formations. Now a lot of this is because I don't have land. So looking in here and looking at a lot of different formations, we've gotten to the point where a lot of players are running land. A lot of players are running some heroes that either I don't have built enough to be effective within different game modes, or I'm going to have to fill them out, like building out land, building out a couple other heroes. So when you start looking at the large players, the very heavy hitters within AFK Arena, you can see, guys, everyone is built out in here. We have Tarnos, we have Kelthin, we have all the Awakened heroes. Everyone is 5 stars. Everyone is in 80 engraving, which is huge. You can go ahead, based on the heroes that you have within this formation, going to make a big difference, because again, when you start looking, and the recommended formations are only going to give you the recommendations based on the heroes that you do possess within the game, which again makes a really, really big difference. So even here, if we spend 100, we can hop in here and you can see our recommended formations. And you'll notice that mine do vary greatly, because right here, there's In Season. Big shout out to him, does so much for AFK Arena and AFK Journey. But then you look at the popular formations, these are different. And again, this is because when we start looking at these formations, I do not have land, which is dropping right now in Team 3. They're using Vika, they're using a couple different things. And even when we start looking at the popular or the best in slot formations, there are a few different heroes within here that I don't have built, even right there in team number 4. On this one, there is land. So again, not having land built, it is not giving me the recommended formations with land. So looking in here, it is still using the formation that is running rain, because of course, like I said, I do not have land built, which is again, the game changer, guys. You have to pay attention to the formations. You should be looking at these and adjusting and really altering your formation every single week. There shouldn't be a time that you shouldn't be updating your formations, shouldn't be updating. And of course, it is going to be the progression that you're making through here when you're picking up different collections, better collections, making sure again that you're updating, and everything you do in this game it makes a big difference. Even here, look at that, 197 from 4%, guys. I know we got a little bit of time left in here, but copying in seasons formation, again, big shout out to him, just made an absolute game-changing difference right there with the bosses, with taking out these bosses. And of course, that is a game changer when it comes to our rewards because of the Draconic Insignias. And then of course, the furniture scrolls that we're getting in here, it works in real time with the formations. Excuse me. All right, guys. So that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.